One thing I never understood was the hatred towards Call of Duty Ghost. So many people in the Call of Duty community say that Call of Duty Ghost was the beginning of the downfall of the Call of Duty series. Black Ops 2 was the last truly great Call of Duty game. And then Ghost came out, and then Advanced Warfare, and then from there it just went completely downhill. Call of Duty Ghost was the beginning of the end for the Call of Duty series. And there's plenty of valid criticism towards the game. I personally loved Call of Duty Ghost, and Call of Duty Ghost was actually my first experience with the current generation of consoles. It was my first PlayStation 4 game, and I absolutely loved it. But I mean, Call of Duty Ghosts, I have a strange history with the game, right? So back in 2013, when the game came out, I was a big PC gamer, like to the point where I was pretty much predominantly on PC. But as soon as Ghost came out, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get Ghost on the PC because at that point I did not have a current generation console. I did not have a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One or anything like that. Um, and I don't even think the consoles launched when Ghost came out. I think the next gen or current gen version came out like 2 weeks after the original because the consoles themselves weren't out yet. But still, I didn't plan on getting a console until Christmas, and Christmas is when I got my PS4. But basically, I got it on PC, but I never got to play it. So I pre-ordered it for $60 and everything because I wanted to try out how Call of Duty was on PC because I never really got to experience it. I did play MW2 on PC just to try it out, and I thought it was fun. But I mean, Xbox is really the only platform where I'm comfortable with Call of Duty. So again, I didn't even get to play on the PC though. That's the thing because it had some issue with DirectX or something, and I just never, no matter how many issues, no matter how much I tried to resolve the issue, I could not get it to run. And I tried everything, and I just could not get it to run. Even though my computer at the time was capable enough to run COD Ghosts, but I never got to play it. So that was $60 down the toilet. It's a shame that Steam didn't have the refunds back then because I would have gotten my refund, but it is what it is, man. I mean, I'm not gonna harp over $60 I lost almost 4.5 years ago now, or however long ago it was at this point. But so then I got on PS4 because I never got to experience it. But and I also got Advanced Warfare on the PS4. And the thing is, man, I'm not gonna I don't want to start a console war here. I actually love both of my consoles equally. I'm not gonna start a console war here, but I mean, a lot of people might get offended by this or take this the wrong way. I cannot play Call of Duty anywhere outside the Xbox. Xbox is where I've been comfortable with. I did start out with Call of Duty on the PS3. I got MW2 on the PS3, but I actually did. Okay, it's a very interesting, very weird situation with me and Call of Duty. So, Modern Warfare 2 is my first COD game. I got it on the Xbox 360 first for Christmas '09. And I didn't even know anything about Call of Duty. My sister told me MW2 is amazing, and she never played it. She sucked. Honestly, she tried to play it and she was awful. She couldn't even beat the campaign. But anyway, I got it, but never really got to experience the multiplayer because I did not have Xbox Live Gold. But I did have a PS3, so I decided I am going to buy uh, MW2 on the PS3. And I did make a lot of friends on there. I mean, obviously, none of them I talk to today. I don't even remember all their gamer tags, honestly. I don't remember much about them. But I do know I used to play with a whole bunch of people on the PS3, and we had a blast. But I just, I wanted to get Xbox Gold so I can experience MW2 on the 360 because I heard 360, is where all the real shit's going on. That's where most people play. That's where all the YouTubers play. That's where everyone plays. And back when I was like 11, 12, that actually was significant to me. But I also prefer the controls. That's the thing. That's the main reason why I prefer it on the Xbox. Even today, like the PS4 controller is definitely better than the PS3. With the triggers are much, much smoother. Because with PS3 FPS games, if you guys remember, you had to shoot with the shoulder buttons and throw grenades with your triggers. I just hated that. I hated it. Just PS3 controller was not very good. And then I got on the 360. I'm like, wow, the 360 controls are so much smoother. It's just so much better, and I just loved it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. And I never got a Call of Duty on PlayStation until PS4 came out. And then as soon as that, but the thing about Ghost, right? So I played it on the PS4. Didn't play much of it, actually, because I just, again, it was some weird thing. I just never, I'm not comfortable with Call of Duty on PlayStation, no matter how hard I try. Wasn't comfortable with AW, wasn't comfortable with Ghost, and I don't know. I'm just not. PS3 COD is not my thing, or PS4 COD, whatever you want to say. And I know a lot of people might take it the wrong way. It's just a personal preference of mine. I'm not saying that Call of Duty is superior on the Xbox, especially since they got the DLC coming first on PlayStation. So it's a good argument to get it on PlayStation, I guess. But I don't know, man. I'm an Xbox guy when it comes to Call of Duty, just like how I'm a Battlefield guy when it comes to. I mean, I'm a PlayStation guy when it comes to Battlefield. I do not play Battlefield outside of PlayStation 4. I'm just, again, PlayStation 4 and Battlefield. I don't know. It's just a weird thing I got going on. I can't explain that whole thing. But you guys don't care about that. You guys care about Call of Duty Ghosts. And here's the thing about COD Ghosts. Call of Duty Ghosts was not as bad as people said it was. I actually got the DLC a couple years ago, a little bit after the game hit its prime. And, back then people were actually still playing the game and people were still playing the DLC. And I have to say, for my first impressions of playing the game on the PS4, I understood a lot of the criticism, especially, the maps were way too big. The map, like half the maps just didn't play well. They just weren't good, right? And I agree with that criticism. But the DLC maps are probably some of the best maps that Call of Duty has ever seen. But so many people just shit on the game initially, never bothered playing the DLC, and they just abandoned the game pretty quickly and moved on to something else, which is a shame. That's always a shame when that happens, but it did happen, and a lot of people missed out on some amazing maps. Pharaoh, I can think of from the top of my head. Mutiny, which was the pirate ship map. It's just there's so many great maps from the Call of Duty Ghost DLC that I can't even name all of them. I mean, I might touch upon that in another video, but that game was just so underrated, especially if you include the DLC. So if Call of Duty Ghosts without the DLC, and if I would rank it on a top 10 in Call of Duty games list, it would probably be probably an 8 or a 9, honestly. But if DLC included, man, it's bumped up a lot. That's all I have to say, like a lot. Not number one, but still a lot. So, I mean, it's just it's also a very underrated game. I mean, when you think of other things, like the campaign was really good, to the point where people want to see another Ghost game just for the story, because the story ended on a cliffhanger, and people wanted to see what would happen after Ghost 1, but we never got Ghost 2. But it's just a shame. This game is so underrated, and it's pretty much dead at this point. More people play World at War than Call of Duty Ghosts, and I got the DLC. Can't even find a DLC lobby anymore. No one plays the DLCs, which is just an absolute shame. Maybe like on a Saturday if I'm lucky, people are playing on the DLCs, but other than that, man, more people play World at War, and World at War is a 10-year-old game. So, I mean, it's a shame. The game was so underrated. I might get into more details about why I love the game, but I'm just going to say I thought the weapons were great. I thought even a lot of the base maps like Freight, Octane, even Whiteout was good, honestly, and Tremor was great. I even liked Freefall. I know a lot of people hated Freefall, but I thought it was a fun map. Because Ghost was such a campy game. And I do agree with that. Ghost, that's part of the reason why people didn't like Ghost, besides, they didn't like the maps and blah, 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 blah. They did not like how campy the game was because, I mean, I guess the nature of the big maps, I guess. But even the small maps, everyone was camping, Remember in Freight, when people were always camping in that little underground building? Everyone was camping in there. And then in Prison Break, oh my god, that prison tower, you couldn't get like winning the game in Prison Break just has to do with which team is camping in that building, because once the team is camped up in there, unless you're noob tubing or something, you cannot get them out. You honestly can't get them out. So, yeah, man. But Freefall was great in the sense that you really couldn't camp, and it was a good free-for-all map. I know people don't like getting shot from all different directions, but it's a fun little map. It really changes the way you play the game, and I thought Freefall was great. I thought a lot of the maps were great. I hated Stonehaven and Stormfront, and I forget the other map, that other big-ass map. I forget the name of it. But I just, I still think it's a very underrated game, and do I think you should still play it in 2018? Yeah. if it's for the right price. But just know that the DLC, no one plays it anymore. So if you're gonna play it, don't buy the DLC. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought about Call of Duty Ghost, and if you agree with me, if it was underrated. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.